that mic's on, please. And when that clock hits 30, we will go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. And soon to be formal Treasurer Fonte, can you make sure that light is green for me? Perfect. All right, clock struck 30. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, council. Good evening, members of public, both in person and virtually attending this evening's city council meeting. With that, I will pass it to Katie for roll.
Schumate,
Here.
Cox,
Here.
Cosmore. Here. McNabb, Molnar,
Here.
Valentine,
Here.
Wood.
Here.
Council, we have Councilman McNabb absent. We look for a motion to excuse Councilman McNabb.
Motion to excuse Councilman McNabb.
Is there a second?
Second.
Katie, please call roll.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Molnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Council, in front of you in your packet, members of public in the back of the room, there's this evening's agenda. I have not been brought any changes to said agenda. Council will be looking for a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Cosmore, is there a second?
Second.
Great. Any discussion on this evening's agenda? Katie, please call roll.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Molnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
We got an approved agenda, and let's get on to it. Katie, I'd love to pass it over to you for the oath of office this evening.
All right. Swear in our new treasurer, Richard Monty.
Gotta state your name and address.
Stand up here with me. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Richard Monty,
I, Richard Fonte,
do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of city treasurer
of the office of city treasurer
in and for the city of Gibraltar,
and for the city of Gibraltar,
Wayne County, Michigan,
Wayne County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Speech, Rich. No time for speeches, man.
Firstborn, he's right here.
Thank you.
Just a short little introduction and a speech here. Good evening, Mayor and Council and citizens at home and in the room here. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my wife Shirley and my family behind me and those that couldn't be here tonight for the support they're giving me and sharing of my personal time to provide for the services for the greater good of Gibraltar. And to the mayor and council for their vote of confidence and trust to fulfill the remaining term of this position. And Dorothy, you get a special thanks. You're the council person that responded to me some 4 years ago when others wouldn't. And I know the complex or the complexity of or the composition of council now has changed. We have better dialogue with the citizens, but it was because of you I'm here tonight. So thank you. Maybe.
Thank you.
As I'm sure you're all aware, the city treasurer has limited duties and responsibilities as outlined in the charter. The position has no voting power. However, the most important thing the treasurer does per the charter is to countersign checks. It's a grave responsibility, one taken very seriously. It carries the weight of the citizens of Gibraltar when somebody signs that check. So it's near and dear to my heart, and it won't be done without great review. And in saying that, fixing my signature to the city check is a sacred task that bears the weight of the taxpayers of the community. Thus, proper financial controls will be reviewed in the following weeks to assure continued compliance with the charter and council's budget objectives. The account funds will be looked at when signing the check, as well as compliance with federal, state laws and the charter and its ordinances before countersigning any check. Moving forward, by providing these necessary oversights, which is directly interlaced with the check signing, the new treasurer, me, will begin the journey by listening, observing, and meeting with our staff and department heads to understand our existing internal controls and invoice approval processes. Once observed and understood, these controls should, number one, protect our city's resources against waste, misappropriation, and inefficiencies. Two, they should ensure authorization, accuracy, timeliness, and reliability in payroll, accounting, and operating data. And three, they should maintain compliance with applicable laws and regulations and should allow and to add to the evaluation performance levels of departments and personnel. In closing, Council, you'll be approving tonight's 2024-2025 budget. The measure of our combined success with the cost effectiveness of providing these services with the constraints you have outlined in this budget. So I'd ask Council to always be aware of the budget when making decisions and the city account funds when contemplating your requests. And please continue, and I heard this the other night or the other council meeting, and I was again struck with its creativeness. Continue to think outside the box. It's important that we do this. We're a financially strapped community, finding innovative ways to make things work for everyone. So thinking outside the box doesn't mean that it's bad. It's very creative. We have good minds on council, very creative people in the city, and we should tap on that to come up with the solutions that are ahead of us. In the future, if there's any questions, I'll be always available, and I'll be reporting in the next few weeks on the progress I'm making. So thank you tonight.
Congratulations. Incredibly grateful for you being in this seat, and I know I speak for many when I say that, and I know that the best interest of Gibraltar is always a priority for you, and I appreciate that immensely, and you bring a lot of expertise and experience to the table that we will all benefit from today, tomorrow, and 20 years from now. So thank you, Treasurer Fonte. I appreciate it. Any comments, Council? Great. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to public comment. Do we have any members of public that wish to address Council this evening? Okay. If there's no public comment, we'll move on to consent agenda. Council, in front of you and in your packet captured within are items A through F. Item A, bills reference number 22A and 22B. Item B, payroll number 893. Item C, budget public hearing minutes of 5/13/2024. Item D, city council minutes of 5/13/2024. Item E, planning commission minutes of 4/16/2024. And item F, DDA minutes of 4/16/2024. Is there a motion to approve our consent agenda items A through F?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion by Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Council, any discussion on this evening's consent agenda? Katie, please call roll.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. Now we're going to look at communications, which there is none this evening, which will transition me to my report this evening. Council, I have a few items for you under administrative updates. Item A is where I'll start.
As discussed in our study session, council and members of the public, you may recall a prior set of discussions related to priority waste and recycling and the issues that we identified in said recycling processing. Members of public and council, I'm pleased to let you know that priority leadership came to City Hall, their CEO, their general counsel, both co-founders, and they chose to do the right thing. They chose to give us the entirety of the funds that we requested in the amount of $26,250. I just want to thank Priority Waste for doing the right thing, for stepping up and owning the issue and making our city whole with that check. Amy, our finance director, and Vince are working to make sure we process those financials accordingly. The second item I'd like to call out, and it was in your packet, I won't do it in too much detail, is treasurer. We're very excited to have now a sworn-in treasurer for the interim capacity until the next election. Treasurer Fonte, I want to thank you for coming in, asking good questions, meeting with staff. I know they're eager to showcase their lives and how they operate, and I encourage you to ask questions and work with them to better understand the operation so that we can leave with an improved operation to the extent it's fit. So thank you again. The next item, council, in the administrative updates is going to be our survey. Our survey has been finalized and shared electronically, and I also spoke with the City Hall staff. We talked about distribution methods. So one of the methods would be the electronic link that we can share, and that can be shared online through social, digital, text, email. The other option we discussed was QR code, which I can build a QR code. But what I talked to our city personnel was the opportunity to print out and distribute the QR code or other pertinent information, align with existing mail distribution. And I was informed that the taxes go out on July 1st. So one option we have beyond the other distribution methods is to include the QR code or a link or whatever we see fit in the tax distribution, which will obviously save on postage considerations and not duplicate efforts there. But I was going to bundle this all up for you given that timeline. And then on June 10th, what I'd like to do is have it in your packet and provided previous to the meeting, a final set of proposals around the survey for your final review, around the distribution considerations that I'll work with our City Hall staff on. I'd like for you to consider that as an approval on June 10th as you see fit so that we can fire the survey accordingly. And then obviously surround sound that with the print option for those residents that may not be accessing it digitally come July 1st. Then the water bill distribution will follow. So we have some opportunities for that print distribution. But I wanted to just throw that out there as a quick update. So again, I think we can converge on an action point on June 10th, but I want to stop. Is there any questions or comments or feedback? Amy?
Is there room on the water bill for a QR code?
It's a great question. I want to work with staff to see, if to the extent that's appropriate, because that would follow the tax distribution, but ideally we would include in the tax distribution and you'd be hitting every home accordingly.
Yeah, that should be easy, but the water bills are so small.
Good comment. And so I'll bundle this up. I just want to give you an update. June 10th, you'll have a final package to review, and we can discuss that before we finalize. And I think I like that dissemination because then you'll hit it June, then you'll further surround sound it with a print-based method, July 1st. We can decide on when we want to check in and close out the completions.
Will that include what we talked about, the Airbnb question?
Yeah, so I'm going to include that as well so that you have that as your final review for June 10th. And I've updated the survey already to reflect the feedback on the electronic version that was already shared.
Yeah, if we have it on July 1st, well, we can actually distribute some of that at the July 4th celebration.
I like that a lot. That's a great
Have the
suggestion.
paper, at least have the paper copy available inside and everything.
And we'll make sure to have it in City Hall. I know a couple residents, which I'll include in your package for June 10th, a couple residents volunteered to hit pertinent areas of the community with a print-based kind of door-to-door strategy. So I think we'll have a good surround sound for folks to complete whatever demographic they need access-wise. The next item I want to just plan to see with you also on June 10th, I'm going to be asking you to consider an alternate for SEMCOG. As I discussed previously, I got a chance to be elected to the executive committee at SEMCOG, but I met with the SEMCOG executive director, Amy O'Leary, last week, and she had requested that we have an alternate just in case I'm not able to attend an assembly or my executive committee commitment. So June 10th, I'm just planting the seed in your mind. I'll need an alternate. It would presumably be no high requirement for your time because I attend those regularly, but in the event that I'm unavailable, we would need to make sure we have a backup. Moving on to item B, and tonight's report is City Administrator. I want to just thank Chief Tangway, and I want to thank Vince. Obviously, we had a good study session, and for those that have not tuned in, council had discussed the option for Chief Tangway to transition to City Administrator for the City of Gibraltar, recognizing that we have Vince and an interim capacity till the end of the year and a part-time hourly allotment that council previously approved. Vince and Chief Tangway are working carefully and closely on all the details so that we can converge that for council come June 10th. So everything from transition timeline considerations, any risk or watch out areas, compensation considerations, which will be obviously a deep dive with Amy as it relates to the transition and support for all parties involved. So just know that the discussions are rolling with Chief and Vince with the goal as we plan in our study session to have a full package for your review in advance of the June 10th meeting. Again, thank you, because I know it's been a lot of work, and Chief Tangway, for you listening out there, just thank you for working closely with Vince to put all that information together for council. The next item on my report this evening is our ordinance committee. Council had discussed in our study session, just a backdrop for those that are not familiar with what I'm referring to, we received a $50,000 grant with no match requirement to review our ordinance language and update that accordingly. With that, we had discussed at Planning Commission, and our Councilman Cox, who also sits on that, can speak to any details I may miss, but we discussed getting an ordinance committee assembled. We feel like this is an incredible opportunity with funds, but a very important focus area for the trajectory of our city. Much of our ordinance language can maybe be considered a little archaic, and so we want to make sure we update it and we do it thoroughly with all parties involved. So council, I'm actually looking for a motion this evening. I put it in your packet, but I want to call this out publicly, and this will help with the motion. I'd be looking for a motion to formally establish the ordinance committee. It would have planning and DDA commission representation of Jim Bilk and Marie Mendoza-Bach. It would have Vince, attorney, sitting to my right, myself. Council had proposed Councilman Molnar and Councilwoman Cosmore, and then we would have our building official and city planner. All of those parties would be the ordinance committee, and council would be looking for a motion to formally assemble said committee so that they can work amongst themselves to schedule a kickoff meeting when the time and information is right.
Motion to formally assemble the ordinance committee consisting of Jim Bilk, Marie Mendoza-Bach, Vince Pastiu, Attorney Bologna, Mayor Garrett, Councilperson Molnar, and Councilperson Cosmore, and the building official and city planner.
Okay, is there a second for that?
Second.
Second by Cox. Council, any discussion? Katie, can you please call roll?
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore.
Yes.
All right, that motion has been carried and the committee has been assembled.
Mr. Mayor, is this ordinance for zoning only? Okay, so it's for clarification, it's a zoning ordinance committee.
Yes, thank you, Treasurer Fonte. Next item on this evening's agenda is a very exciting one. I know we've had a lot of process and discussions here. Amy, just bless you.
Thank you.
Hats off to you for all the work you did since the beginning of the year to assemble this, working with department heads, scheduling council sessions. Vince, thank you for bringing a lot of expertise and experience to the table in partnership with Amy. Council, thank you for the great discussion. Public, thank you for your contributions to the public hearing. Tonight, I will turn over to Vince if he has any other commentary here. But for item D, we're looking at the adoption of the full year 2024-2025 budget. And Vince and Amy, if you want to add any color before we request council's action.
You have a resolution tonight to adopt the budget. Part of it is the detailed line items for the various operating funds. But also there's a section with the millages that was presented during the public hearing for adoption. A section dealing with no change in the water and sewer rates, but just a reaffirmation of the rates themselves. And then we added a section lastly that listed all of our positions that we have with the city of Gibraltar. So putting together what's referred to as a position allocation list so that we know how many positions we have And if there's any departures or temporary positions, we know how that fits into the scheme of the budget in relationship to the personnel.
Amy, anything you'd like to add? All right. I know we went through this in detail and presented on it. The good news is, I would say at just a high-level summary as we wait for a council motion. One is we are proposing a millage reduction of 0.2657 mils. Two is we have good fund equity across major areas, including our general fund, our major and local roads. I would say we have extremely good equity positions in our DDA, which we talked about priority projects to enhance the city of Gibraltar. With the Shuva look-back savings, we're proposing giving some money back to the community and its households with both a $25 per household survey requirement, and then you get a $25 reduction off your water bill, which will help with our lead and copper efforts, as well as the city absorbing what is an increase that we had from Great Lakes Water Authority of 12 cents, rather than passing that along, absorbing it, so that our residents don't feel that. So I'm really excited about the budget. That was just kind of a high-level synopsis, but council will be looking for a motion to adopt full year 2024, 2025 budget.
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2024-25 budget.
Motion by Cosmore, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Council, any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Great. Very exciting. Amy, Vince, thank you, and to all those involved, thank you. Next item on my list is city planner. Council, I know we touched on this in our study session. Simply put, we had discussed kind of some of the experiences we've had with Wade Trim and our city planner, specifically from Wade Trim, some current concerns that I had expressed to you on said experiences. So council, I'd be looking for a motion to terminate Wade Trim according to the termination considerations in the agreement, which is 60-day notice. With the motion, if council so chose, we would have McKenna assume interim responsibility as our building department. They have city planner services. Both Vince and I have spoken with McKenna, and they said they could immediately support said transition as we go through the RFP process to obviously decide who the long-term city planner is for the city of Gibraltar. So, council, I'll be looking for a motion to terminate Wade Trim as our city planner according to the nature of the existing agreement we have.
Motion to terminate Wade Trim.
Second.
Second by Valentine. Council, any discussion?
Now, I know originally Councilman Cox had talked about getting a different person from Wade Trim than the one we had. So do we look into that thoroughly, or?
We did, and we had touched on that in the study session. That was a great recommendation, and we did. And for Vince can speak obviously to more specifics, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, when we talked about it last week, I looked online to see what personnel they had there, and basically that, what there was somebody that handles the planning section, but it didn't go into detail as to who, and my experience has been a lot of times what they'll do is they'll list the whole team there and what their specialties might be, and so, at that point, my sense of it, it wasn't very deep in that. And they're primarily an engineering firm. Planning, I think, is, I'm not gonna say it's secondary, but their meat and potatoes is engineering.
Any?
Yeah,
Please, yeah.
my only question would be, if we provide them the 60 days notice, have we gotten any indication from them that they'll waive that?
We have not. Wanted council's motion and then to have a discussion with Wade Trim and Arthur specifically. If they do choose to waive it, McKenna is ready to go whenever they are ready.
Okay. So I think that's one of the things that we've talked about with other appointed department head contractors, is that although we may give them 60-day notice requirements, it's not required by our charter, which is governing. So hopefully they just waive it and let us move on.
I appreciate that. Yep, good call. So Vince, I'll have you have
I'll
that
follow up with
conversation.
it. Yeah.
And then the corresponding conversation with McKenna to make sure we have a seamless transition there.
Yep.
Katie, can you please call roll unless there's any other discussion from council? Roll is ready.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Molnar,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes. Next item and last item on my list is item F, dispatch. I know we covered this briefly in some of the public discussions to date. I want to thank Rockwood and all of the city representatives. Chief Tangway, myself, and Vince, coming out of, obviously, alignment with council and our city personnel, including our own dispatch, had the opportunity to go present to the city of Rockwood on a proposal for Gibraltar to absorb the city of Rockwood dispatch. We covered everything from the benefits to the operational considerations to the financial proposal, which, to be very transparent, is $67,000 year one, $70,000 year two, $73,000 year three. We emphasize the importance of the partnership that we feel is the opportunity, the existing profound and organic collaboration that already happens across dispatch, police, fire, and all parties involved. So the city of Rockwood and their council had a lot of positive feedback. Vince, please add anything as I close. And we'll be in touch around their decision. Obviously, they have different avenues to consider. One is, could they stay with Rockwood Dispatch in Rockwood? Two is, they had a presentation from Brownstown and the obviously Brownstown and Trenton together and the opportunity to join that effort. Or three, go to Gibraltar. Or four, any other path they so choose. I feel really good about the presentation. I think it's an excellent opportunity to play on a existing collaboration between our two cities. It's symbiotic, it's beneficial to both. And obviously, you know, here in Gibraltar, we want to keep dispatch here for our residents. So with that being said, council, any questions? City of Rockwood has not given us a definitive date on a follow-up, but the second I get a follow-up, I will make sure that is in front of council. Vince, anything to add?
No, other than I think both the mayor and Chief Tangay did a wonderful job of outlining all of the questions that they had heard and considerations, and you could watch and see the body language and the affirmation that it was well received. The question is, do they want to consider, you know, doing away with their own dispatch? It's a tough decision for them to make, but I think clearly a good case and comforting, I think, from their end of it, based on the presentation received or delivered by the mayor and Chief Tangay. So we'll see where it goes.
Awesome.
Makes for a good fit, I mean.
It really does.
It does.
It makes sense in every way we describe, so I'm excited about the opportunity if they so choose it. So now we're going to turn over to council reports. Councilman Valentine, I'll pass it over to you for Recreation Commission.
Just want to remind everybody that the first Music in the Park is this Thursday, May 30th, and it's presented by a Carlson High School Honor Society. It's from 6 to 10. There'll be no alcohol served, but you can bring your own if you'd like. There'll be food from Jen's Diner there. Remind everybody also the 60th anniversary of the 4th of July is coming up. And they're still looking for candidates for Miss Gibraltar. You have until June 17th to get your candidacy in. You have to live in Gibraltar, and you have to be between 13 and 18. The winner will receive $100, and their two runner-ups will receive $25 at the July 4th grandstand ceremonies. All three will be asked to ride in the Gibraltar 4th of July parade, but they will be responsible to provide your own vehicle and the vehicle signs. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Councilman Valentine. Any questions for Councilman Valentine? Can you want to give the public the age range for Ms. Gibraltar, just so they know?
Oh, the age range is 13 to 18?
Perfect, just want to make sure. 13 to 18, any Ms. Gibraltar candidates out there, please apply. Thank you so much. Any questions for Councilman Valentine? All right, Councilwoman Cosmore, ADW, Kiwanis, Rotary, and 33rd District Court.
Okay, the 33rd District Court, there is no report for that. And for the ADW, we did meet on Tuesday. I did send everybody email today of the agenda, because there's some pretty good information about the water testing that you thought you guys might be interested in. The meeting basically approved our officers, our budget. And ADW, a lot of that Alliance for Downriver Watershed, a lot of their job is to get information out to people about the watershed. So they do a lot of like advertising stuff, you know, trying to get people to understand how important our watersheds are and how, you know, not to pollute them. So there will be coming out a new e-letter in early June, and I will make sure that gets out to everybody and to the community on the Facebook pages and stuff. And they also are going to resume the photo contest that they've had in the year, and that'll be the pictures they use for the calendar for the following year. That'll start June 1st. Same thing, I'll make sure that it gets out there as soon as they send me the packet for it. They've done a lot of education, you know, to the kids, and then I think you guys too probably seen the new signs that that the ADW put. Thank you to the DPW for putting them up. I think they put them up a couple months ago, but you'll notice around our watersheds, you'll notice there's new signs. And I also come across a grant opportunity, and I did send that to you guys. So I think we might qualify. It looks like we probably qualify today. And I think it's due in like middle of July, so hopefully we get that one. It'd be nice to do that, so. That's it. Oh, and then for the Rotary, we do have duck tickets available and the Sportsman's Gift raffle card raffle available. It's in City Hall. The duck raffle tickets are $5. The Sportsman's Gift raffle is $20. They will be doing the duck raffle tickets. They'll be on August, what day's the day? I forgot what day the, 10th. Okay, August 10th, when we do the kayak party out there, so it'll be a big day. It'll be a big day, so all the ducks dropped in the water. But like I said, tickets are still available, and all that money is the fundraising that helps us do the things that we need to do. So please stop by, buy one, or see if you see a Rotary member, they have them. I have some, not with me tonight, but I do have them at home. But any Rotary member has them. And now as far as the Kiwanis, we still need members, just like the Rotary. We meet every Tuesday at 6:30 at Gibraltar Community Center, except tonight. And then we also have, we are putting on, along with the Gibraltar Firemen's Association, we're putting on a water safety class for kids from 5th grade to 8th grade. Please look on the website. We have look on the Kiwanis website and the city pages. I'll do another hit tomorrow. And if your kids are in school, should have come home with them also. And it's just going to be a little basic one. They're going to learn water safety, a little boating safety, a little bit first aid. And then if this class goes well, we'd like to put on maybe some more, where they can earn their cards and stuff later on. We just so please sign up. We do have some signed up, but we still have like 10 spots left. So if you could, please sign up. And I think that's it. A lot going on in Gibraltar, so.
It's exciting. Love the summers here. Councilwoman Cosmore, thank you so much. I know we have tickets too in City Hall. Katie, you can keep me honest there. Yep,
Yes.
great. Any questions for Councilwoman Cosmore? All right, Councilwoman Wood, talk to us about beautification and historical museum.
Okay, short reports tonight. We picked up our flowers for the city, so that's exciting, and we started planting them. And it's very exciting because it's raining out right now, so I'm very happy about that.
Yes, what a treat.
And pretty much that's it for beautification right now, because that's what we're trying to get done. And for the Historical Museum, it is open Sunday, June 2nd, from 2 to 4. And that's all I have for the museum, but Government Day is Thursday, and I'm looking forward to Government Day with the kids. That should be fun. That's it. That's
We're
my
so
report.
excited.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm coming. That's so much fun.
Incredibly excited to host Government Day. Thank you for all you're doing and for beautifying and a nice little dose of rain to help it out.
Yes, yes.
Any questions for Councilwoman Wood? All right, Councilman Cox, talk to us about Life and Planning Commission DDA.
Thank you. For the Planning Commission, in April, we were presented with a concept for a potential horse stable in an R1 district at the northwest corner of Gibraltar and Jefferson. At that point, we requested that the planner come back with some language for that special use. That language was reviewed at the last Planning Commission meeting in May, and we requested that some additional information along with the site plan and the concepts that are going along with it be brought back. So that was requested for the next meeting. We also extended a special use approval for, what's the address on that?
28002.
For 28002 North Gibraltar Road. That was extended to December of this year with the caveat of site plan approval. And we also dealt with the number of RV sites in the C3 district where it was reduced from 40 to 26. At which point, we scheduled a public hearing for June 18th to address that. So that's on the Planning Commission. DDA, there were no actions taken, but the budget was discussed and the potential for utilizing those additional funds for other projects. That's my report.
Well said, Councilman Cox. Any questions for Councilman Cox on planning or DDA? Since Councilman McNabb is not here, I know that the weed harvester is in procurement phase, and I saw some of the county representatives at the DCC meeting, for which they acknowledged that the ball seems to be rolling, and I know Councilman McNabb is working hard on all that. So good news seemingly on progress there. Councilman Molnar.
The only item I have to update on is this coming June 8th, Saturday, is the annual Run for the Cure, the run and kayak race hosted at Captain Jim's for the Lindsay and Jim Voss family on Horse Island. I know some of you know, some of you don't. Jim Voss was building a house on Horse Island about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and passed away during the process of building his home from a disease called HHT. His daughter Lindsay also had that hereditary disease. She went to Cleveland Clinic amongst many other places so that she could be cured of it, but not without some restrictions that she's been burdened with. So every year we do this run and kayak race to benefit Lindsay and memorialize Jim and great friends of mine and ours, and hope we have a good turnout for Saturday morning, 8 a.m. run and kayak race at Captain Jim's. Thank you.
Love that. Thank you. Any questions for Councilman Molnar? All right. Well, next item on our list, if there's no further questions for council, is going to be our Parks and Recreation Director, Goris.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Right now, I'm working on the Senior Olympics. Registration is June 12th to the June 30th. August 12th to June 30th. Some of the activities that we do in the Senior Olympics is breakfast with champions, fun runs, softball throw, soccer kick, football throw, frisbee, car show, euchre, beanbag toss, pickleball, tennis, bocce ball, horseshoes, billiards, pinochle, darts, spelling bees, golf, ping pong, swimming, and basketball shoot, and cooking, a cook-off. If you'd like to join, please come register.
It's awesome.
Okay, each community takes a turn having the Senior Olympics, and we all help in doing all the events and judging and the awards.
That's amazing.
My next meeting is June 4th for recreation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any questions for Parks and Recreation Director Goris? All right. City Attorney, anything from you?
Nothing to report.
Are you having fun in Gibraltar?
Loving it.
Any questions for our City Attorney this evening? All right. Vince, floor is yours.
Thank you. City Administration's requesting approval of a professional service proposal from Collins Engineering to initiate the evaluation and the structural integrity of the Horse Island Bridge. This is a follow-up from the most recent meeting that we had with the advisory committee, where they really scaled down some of the scope so that it's focusing on the load capacity. The approval is requesting for a not-to-exceed amount. A lot of the work will likely start later this summer, in part because they're still doing some research, would like to get to the libraries that were referenced to determine the nature and the structure of the bridge. That would save on some effort to do some more of the kind of radar type of analysis. I'd apologize to Mr. Sant for not getting back on that, but the decision was, let's do this first, do the structural analysis, and then each step of the way, it's going to involve coming back to the advisory committee for review, thoughts, comments, and then ultimately another step would have to be approved by the city council. So this gets it initiated. This is a tag-along with the bridge inspection agreement that was approved here within the last month. And they'll be in doing the work the week of June 24th. So a couple weeks away, they'll have their crews in starting a lot of the work here. So with that, certainly ask or answer any questions you might have.
Sorry, does that include the, that allotment for the material testing?
Yeah, that's the one change from their original proposal was to go into doing the, I should have pulled it back out here, but to do the concrete coring and testing of the concrete. That's really where the big add-on was from the initial phase was, and that's what I think we discussed at that meeting a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they've got some funding in there if need be for SHPO, based on that analysis, where they go next with that, so. But again, it starts off, doing nothing, maybe doing some work, and builds from there, so.
Council Vince is looking for a motion to approve the modification of the existing contract.
Make that motion?
Motion by Molnar, second by Cosmore. Council, any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Vince, back to you.
The next item is on the agenda requesting City Council to approve progress payments number 2 and 3 with Bidiger Contractors that will essentially close out the construction portion of the water main projects on Middle Gibraltar and South Gibraltar Road. The amount requested for payment is $257,878.33. So we ask council to approve that. The other significant aspect of bringing this in the manner that we did was to say that we were estimating somewhere the ending bond surplus was going to be in the neighborhood of $750. By closing this out, we're going to be a little over $800,000. So again, I'll talk about it a little bit further on the next item on the agenda as well.
You need a
Motion to approve progress payments 2 and 3 to Biddy
Motion
Gary
by-
to final out the project.
Motion by Cox.
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Any discussion, council? Katie, please call roll.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Vince, back to you.
Next item is just to get the flavor, the desire of city council to consider a request that Mayor and I had received from new owners at Captain Jim's regarding that area just on the northeast corner of North Gibraltar and Middle Gibraltar, where they'd be willing to, it's in the public right-of-way, to pave and allow for parking in there. I put together a, pretty crude map. In there where people do park, and just wanted the council's flavor, if there was interest in pursuing that as kind of a short-term measure. If there is, that we work certainly through the city attorney in drafting kind of a use type of agreement. I see it as only being temporary till there's a discussion regarding the long-term parking in the downtown. You'll note in there my recommendation to consider the DDA to have what's called a sub-area plan to look at long-term on-street parking along Middle Gibraltar and North Gibraltar Road that would certainly add the parking capacity in the downtown, but also, hopefully improve the motorist and pedestrian flow and safety, along with improving the aesthetics. From a development standpoint, parking is always a consideration and may be in fact an impediment for other development in that area. And so, talking with Councilmember Wood this morning about that Gibraltar hasn't done any of these sub-area plans. You do have a downtown master plan, but a sub-area plan is a concentrated study in a specific area. And I've done these in other communities. This one would be basic, but I've had others where we've went so far as to do market analysis, whether it's residential market analysis, commercial retail analysis, to see what the market will bear. But I think part of this is with the recommendation to consider this, going back to the start of it, is consider it as a temporary type of use, but there has to be a long-term plan, and the DDA certainly has funding to at least conduct the study, but also if they're inclined to do any improvements, the funding's in place to consider that as well. So certainly open to any questions, but the specific is there interest in that immediate corner in the short run to have McGuire's pave it and allow parking there?
How many more spots would it give them?
Oh, probably 5, 6, somewhere, I'm guessing like that. You could probably squeeze a couple more in tight, but it does provides for a few more parking spots.
I think that it might provide a little bit more than that, only because it would allow you to have a center aisle in the parking lot. Obviously, I know that because I used to own it.
Yeah.
And so if they're able to extend out further, that would give them the ability to put depending on the engineer's measurements,
Yeah.
I would imagine that might give them an ability to put a center row in there. So that area might only give you 6 or 7 or 8 spots, but it would enable a center row that might give you 10 more spots.
Oh, okay.
Now, are they not allowed to this part of the grass?
It's on the.
Yeah, that's the
Is
part of
that-
it, yeah. that's
This,
Yeah.
the circle in red is what they want, correct?
No, that's what you don't want.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, why would we want it up
Yeah,
there?
you don't want that,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
So-
so they
so
want
just-
that part.
So a couple of thoughts here. So the red zone that's marked is because that's the side facing the bridge, closest to the bridge. The goal is to not allow parking on that. It's problematic, people are backing out. We want to fix that up so that it's aesthetically pleasing and a part of downtown and not impede traffic and be problematic with the parking there. Because I'm grateful, Vince, that you put this together, and to the McGuires for coming with the proposal. I think we have to take a step back. Like, the current state is problematic, in my opinion.
Yes.
There's a lot of parking there, even in the face of where should be no parking, frankly speaking. The ground is very disrupted, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we have to make some guidance for this individual as to how we want to manage this. I agree that there should be no parking on the bridge side. So I'd love to see if there's any objections there, but I feel strongly about that. I think to Councilman Molnar's point is, it's really, the question to me is, how many spots do you really unlock? Because 5 to 6, or maybe even 15, may not solve the problem fully, right? Meaning there's overflow parking. They have an option to park, which I use, and walk, right? So I just want to be mindful that if we're allowing paving of an area, which is city property, right? Which would have to be torn up if we needed to access any of the underlying infrastructure and repaved accordingly, is it really solving a problem that exists, which is a shortage of parking in that lot? And that's what I just want to theoretically pose to the council to consider is, are 5, 6, 10 spots? I think the devil's in the details to me, and I want to just be mindful of that.
So to note, that used to be, not even 10 years ago, that used to be a 5-way stop. Wilson Street went all the way to Middle Gibraltar, North Gibraltar. So that area of grass there, not even 10 years ago, was a street. So it was not that awfully long ago that grass didn't even exist.
Yep.
The infrastructure mainly is on the Middle Gibraltar area where all the AT&T line goes underneath. I do know there is a gas line and a water line, but it's not significant on that section. Most of it is on Middle Gibraltar Road. There was the city engaged when we owned the property. The city, for $1, entered into a 3-year lease with us. We wanted to purchase the property, and it wasn't able to do that. But that area is not utilized. It's not big enough to be utilized for anything. It's too close to the street for setback requirements to do anything with. The logical thing would, in my mind, is to pave it and extend the parking lot.
Pave that section that's not coded in red. Council, any feedback, thoughts? Obviously, Vince is here just looking at guidelines or additional information requests, so any perspectives to share?
Shouldn't this go before the DDA first?
That was the goal, was to put it in front of them, but talk to me, Vince.
They actually discussed that at the DDA meeting last Tuesday, and their sense of it was to, make sure that the hydrant and the utilities are protected. That would seem to be their primary concern was that. So I think obviously the pump, we have a pump right there, station as well, so. But it's infrastructure that's, above ground that was the major concern they had.
I do agree the devil's in the details too, because I don't think that you want people pulling off of North Gibraltar Road and going right up onto that the way they are now.
Well
I
said.
think having the step back as is normally required, so right now if there's 30 feet from the curb to the grass asphalt line, I think that as long as the curb remains, grass remains to a certain point, and it allows them to extend the pavement from the interior portion of the property outward to where they still go through the driveway, but not drive over the curb as is customary now.
Well said.
Rather than paving the whole thing, just creates just as same mess now, only no grass.
Yeah.
Only no mud, yeah.
Well said. Well, Vince, I think you have your guidance unless Chief Kane?
There's just one thing, I wanted to make a correction. There's 3 water mains that are there and a sewer that are there. So they're not in the road, they're actually underground, under the grass. Because there's a water main that comes down Wilson, so I'm just letting you guys know that, so.
Goes underneath the driveway too then, so the Wilson Street, so it's underneath the street too.
All right, that's
Wilson.
helpful. So Vince, I guess what would be helpful is if we can consider the feedback today, which is to avoid the North Gibraltar disruption, right? How would you structure that in-road, and how many parking spots would it really allow to be expanded to? I'm not hearing any objections. We do not want parking on the Middle Gibraltar side, close to the bridge. Any other feedback, council, before Vince can take this back to the drawing board and?
You know, we had a council meeting about this once before, that they wanted to buy the land from us. We said we wouldn't sell it to them, but we'd allow them to put a sign that said additional parking further down the road. I think your other business over there. So so at that time, that council did not want to have parking there.
Yeah, and I think here we are with a solution to me that hopefully, upon further consideration and all the details being provided, stops the disruption of that area, beautifies the side facing the bridge, allows parking that's not going to create pull-out back to North Gibraltar, because the problem is there's a lot of parking that continues to occur there, and it obviously is problematic.
So you're extending the parking lot out?
That's the current map, is basically showing that you could provide a inroad here so you don't disrupt North Gibraltar Road. So there's not people pulling over the curb and back into the road. That allows parking in this area here. That's the individual would pay for the paving of it, and if anything needs to be addressed, underlying infrastructure, it would have to be obviously torn up and repaved as fit.
Yeah, you could go on.
Okay, doesn't this kind of bring up, personal, people are wanting to pave part of our city, but then we end up having to take care of it. Isn't that something we were trying to, or they were talking about on Lowell? Isn't that kind of the same thing? Do we want, private people just paving for us? If there's an issue, I don't understand, so.
I would envision and certainly work through the city attorney with it, but clearly the city will still own it. You can put any term you want, as well as the termination provision in there that you can. The understanding is if there's any underground utility work that's required in that immediate area, the city's going to be digging it up. And I think you just think in terms of this as only being temporary. You do need to, I think, feel strongly that the DDA and the council need to look at the parking capacity in that immediate area. It can, I think, intuitively, I know you can get there. And I think I would just consider this as a temporary type of fix to add some more capacity. I hadn't looked at it, I had just envisioned it coming off of North Gibraltar, but clearly, you're going to add a lot of spaces based on what was presented by Councilmember Mulliner, I think. And again, it gets, I think, a better, allows the business to be more successful, but it is only temporary. I could not imagine, I won't be here as the administrator, but wouldn't recommend that you give it up. But put some terms and conditions associated with its use.
The water and sewer lines that are under there, and let's say it's paved now, or cement's over it, who's going to pay to dig that cement up?
Well, that would be a function of the DPW. It's like they would do any other, we've got, streets where we have a water main break, we got to dig up the street, but they would be responsible for putting it back. That's a condition that they would have to accept.
I think the bigger concern is the replacement in kind of what's there.
Yeah.
So who do you put the burden on? You'd put the burden on the business owner, that if we had to access that, they're responsible to put it back in kind.
So DPW would have to dig it up, but then the business owner would have to replace it in kind.
That's the way I'd envision it.
Me too.
And how much pressure would parking on top of those, the lines and all that?
No,
It won't.
that's
it
not
won't-
an
it won't-
issue.
It won't be a problem.
Less than
Okay.
it is now, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, for cement it would be,
Well, I think you're hearing an appetite for a little more details on the drawing itself and how that layout would fix, but some guidance for you on how that might be looked at. You're hearing alignment that we don't want parking by the bridge and on that side of the road. You're hearing concerns around, we want this city to retain the property, but not be responsible for any financial burden this may present, which is obviously being put on the business owner. We want termination ability. We want information so that if it does have to be torn up, that it's put back as it was. I think that's the guidance you're hearing, council, unless I'm missing anything.
My only question is, what value does it bring to retain it? Or does it bring a negative value to retain it?
I would, if I may, through
Yeah,
the mayor,
please.
is, I think if you do this sub-area plan, you can analyze whether it continues in that capacity. The street there, Wilson, that's an odd, I have to tell you, it probably, a sub-area plan would look at how does that functionally fit with all of the operations that take place around there? To what extent is it needed and necessary?
Got it.
I mean, you could come up, well, I can't remember the name of the street, is it? or sorry,
Blakely.
Blakely.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient to provide what's needed to serve that? Those are the things that happen when you do one of these sub-area plans. You ask these questions, and in some cases, you got streets that you don't need right there. There's a higher and better use for it, and it might be parking.
Yeah, and you can look at the old street files on some of these properties and see the considerations that they went on, they even looked at selling Blakely Street 50 years ago or 40 years ago. When you look at the street files, you can see all that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, very helpful.
If I may say one more, I'd like to see planning and DD approve it, and if they approve it, come before us, and then I'd be okay with it.
So you could have the specific plans go back to
Sure.
planning and
Yeah.
DDA, and then pending their support and approval, if they so choose, they would be able to come to, we will have public comment right at the end of the meeting.
Yep. Well, I got the flavor. Let's see where it leads from here.
I just have one more question.
Yeah.
Councilman Cox mentioned that if we had to dig it up, they would pay for it. And I'm just throwing this out there. I dig up people's driveway to fix the water main all the time, and we pay for it.
I didn't imply that they'd pay for the removal process, but they would be responsible for replacing it in kind the way it
But
was.
we repave the people's driveway when I tear it up to fix a water main.
They own the driveway.
Correct.
Yeah.
We own this property.
We own this property, they own the driveway.
Okay.
Good call, though.
Also in this here.
Any other comments? Great. Vince, any other?
Nope.
Okay, great. Clerk Tomasic, floor is yours.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. I like it.
Nada.
Treasurer Fonte, I know we heard from you at the opening. Anything else you'd like to add? Great. Finance Director McEwen, floor is yours.
My first item is I need a resolution to set up, Richard Fonte is a check signer at Avia Credit Union so that he can sign our checks. So if I could please get a motion for that?
Councilor, motion for,
Motion for a resolution to establish Treasurer Fonte as a check signer for Advia Credit Union and also as a check signer for Public Service Credit Union.
council, is there a second for that? Second by Molnar. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
If I may, ideally, because these are two separate resolutions, I think
Do
there
one
should
at
be
a
two
time?
separate motions, yeah.
Okay, Valentine, we go back to you for a motion revision.
I'll just to establish Treasurer Fonte as a check signer for Advia Credit Union.
Is there a second for that revised motion? Second by Molnar. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cosmore?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Now, with the discussion, we would require a separate motion for the other check signing capability.
Motion for a resolution to establish Treasurer Fonte as a check signer for Public Service Credit Union.
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion, council? Katie, please call roll.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
Back to you, Amy.
My next item is I wanted to get permission to start investing some of our funds in Michigan Class. This is a pooled investment fund that I learned about in my class, and I wanted to present it with Vince here because he has experience at both of his former municipalities. With Michigan Class, a lot of municipalities use it. It's a great tool to get some more diversification versus the two credit unions that we currently use. And it could possibly even get us like a higher return rate because they are able to invest out more longer term because it's a pooled fund with all these other municipalities. It's also still very liquid, so it's not like it would be gone for 90 days if I put an investment into it. It would just be like maybe a day or two to get the funds back into our account.
Any idea what the rate of return is at presently?
I don't know if I printed that out, so I'm not sure if I have it on hand, but I want to say it was pretty close to what the credit unions had, actually better than the credit unions. And I just wanted to get a motion to do that.
Council, any other questions? I know, Vince, you've been very close with Amy on this. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, other than, last two jurisdictions I worked with, actually three, I think, yeah, three, have been a part of it. It's a good, solid, pooled investment group serving municipalities across Michigan.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve investment in Michigan Class Investment Tool.
Second.
Second by Cosmore, the original motion by Valentine. Council, any questions, comments?
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the dollar amount and where it was coming from and what are we investing? I didn't, and maybe I missed that, but
If I may, just, Amy, I'll just carry, we had a good conversation late this afternoon with Mr. Fonte as treasurer, and what it does is that I think over time, what you'll do is doing cash flow analysis, what you need, what you have available for investment, that certainly with treasurer and the finance director can start making decisions to optimize the investments based on that cash flow projection. So I think initially it's going to take it easy, slow, and have it available, but as you get over time and get the cash flow analysis refined, I think you'll really start optimizing the fullest extent of that capability.
So are we here as a council approving a open-ended investment in this?
It's like other investments. If you think of that periodically, there's money going to be going in for a specific period of time, you can always pull it back out. Whereas in some cases, like with CDs or even money markets may not have terms, but the bottom line is you have options to withdraw it when you need it. But because they can go out longer term in a pooled fund and have more cash to work, it's going to get you a little bit higher yield than what you would with just a conventional local bank or credit union financing, so.
And right now, it's mostly invested in CDs and money market.
Well, so you'll be reducing the CDs and money markets?
Yes,
and
correct.
instead
And-
okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I got educated on it too. It's putting our money to work that's currently invested in other areas for
Got
a
it.
better or as good return.
The other aspect of it too is the conversation, again, this came up with Amy's class, is that you'll be getting quarterly investment reports, so that you'll see where the money's invested, how much, what kind of returns you're receiving that, so. We got talking about that this afternoon, and Amy said, yep, she learned about that in class though, so you'll be seeing that here somewhere in the near future.
Classes are paying off.
Yep. And because we're a municipality, it's very strict on where we can invest funds in. This is one of the few things that we are actually able to invest in. Because it has to be safe.
Sure.
Good
Or
question.
politically correct, probably, too.
Good questions. Any other discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore.
Yes.
That's carried. Amy, back to you for your last item.
Okay, and my last item is a motion to approve progress payment number 5 for Inliner Solutions for sewer lining rework. Once we approve these are one of the few things that we don't write a check for. We do a wire transfer to Inliner Solutions for these payments. So that's why I like to make sure that they're brought to council for approval before they get paid.
I'm grateful for the work done there. Obviously, we just realized some savings, so council, the motion would be in your court.
Motion to approve progress payment number 5 to Inliner Solutions.
Motion by Cox, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Council, any discussion?
Is this?
They're not done on they still have some left to do, right?
Thank you.
I believe
We're
so.
not paying them.
Correct. There still shows a balance of $25,000 in the 5% retention column. So this contract is not fully completed.
We're withholding that 25,000 until they're finished?
Yes.
Correct.
I just want to thank Councilman Cox, Infrastructure Advisory Committee, all parties for staying close to this and helping sure we're educated and positioned well. Thank you. Amy, thanks for bringing it to council. Any other discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Did you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry. Cosmore?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
I'm so sorry, Councilwoman Wood, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm
Okay,
good.
perfect. There's no further questions, comments for Amy?
That concludes my report.
All right. Chief Tangway is going to have his session represented by Chief Kane. So Chief Kane will let you double dip if you want to start with police first.
I guess I owe it to him.
Yes, you do.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The police report from May 6th to May 22nd, they had 297 calls for service, 44 reports were written, 33 tickets, 6 adult arrests, no juveniles. The school resource officer investigation was 1, detective bureau was 3, and ordinance report was 7. As you see, the monthly and year comparison for April. The police department has been looking at all the traffic control orders that were put out and seeing if they've been signed or need to be signed. So they're working on that very, very well. April fines and costs have been received, and they paid $2,355.67 when we were budgeted to pay $6,850.17. Looks like a savings there. And the ordinance activity is attached for you to read. And that would probably conclude his report.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank Chief and many from the police department for representing in the Rockwood Memorial Day Parade. Same thing goes, Chief Kane, to you and your fire department. It was amazing to see the Gibraltar presence. I know Rockwood and all involved were very appreciative of that, so thank you both. Back to you for fire, unless there's any questions on police. Back to you.
I'll answer them as best I could. All right, for the fire department, through May 9th through May 23rd, there were 30 calls, total calls. 28 were medicals, 2 were auto aids to Woodhaven. There were 3 mutual aids, and 1 we gave aid to Rockwood for a rescue. As the mayor mentioned, we participated in a Rockwood parade, and we were asked to go to the Woodhaven ceremony, Woodhaven Moose, and I'm not positive if we made it there. We had a couple calls right after the parade, so I'm not positive if we made it there or not. And that concludes my report.
Council, any questions for Chief Kane? Thanks again for representing. All right, if there's no further questions, there is no unfinished business this evening. There is no new business this evening, and there are no tabled and referred items. So with that, we'd love to open up for public comment. Thank you for your patience, and members of public, please approach the podium and be sure to state your name and address.
Wayne Brennan, 30490 South Gibraltar Road. I'd just like to know the parking there on North Gibraltar. I know Rob offered to buy the property and everything, but the curb there, people pull out in front of you and block the road and back up over the curb. I don't have privy to your parking situation there.
Yeah.
And then also they're building 2 doors down, 3 doors down, the garage. Is that up, people taxes on their taxes and everything on that building? The garage is there?
Garage. Vince, are you?
I don't know anything, I don't know anything.
I
about
want to make sure we follow up with you to make
There's
sure.
a garage on North Gibraltar Road that's dilapidated. Used to be a garage, the brown building.
Oh, you're talking, he's talking 29005, the old auto repair place
Yeah,
that's.
I just want to know if it's, because that's an eyesore.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would be an excellent place for a parking lot close by.
I love the
I just
suggestion.
don't know how.
Yeah, last time I looked at the street file for that, there hadn't been any ordinance activity. I brought this up at a council meeting a while back, but last time I looked at it was probably 3 years ago when I looked at the street file, and I reached out to the owner, or tried to reach out to the owner, was unsuccessful, but last ordinance activity was in 2012. I don't believe anything's happened since then.
I'm just saying, just if you want to solve a problem, might be a little easier, because when people, pull out to jump that curb, and plus they're tearing up their cars, and they probably don't even realize it most of the time, so.
Well said. The good news is, I love that feedback, because tonight's proposal and discussion by council basically prohibits parking on Middle Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And then for North Gibraltar, what you heard from council tonight is they don't want people being able to go over the curb, but instead create an inlet. So I know you can't see it, but that's the map we were just reviewing. So the goal would be where on North Gibraltar Road that could be paved, if it was approved and reviewed, you'd prevent the curb hop, and you'd have basically an inlet.
That's
You'd
all I was
inlet-
asking.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good suggestion. And I want to know too, we'll take a look at the 29005, because really what I love about what Vince proposed is there's a bigger picture opportunity for us to take a look at downtown, right? And the opportunities for it, and the parking considerations, and the funds we
Well,
have,
building's
so.
been vacant for years, and
Precisely.
nobody's done anything with it, so just food for thought.
I may ask,
please,
just follow up, that's exactly what you do when you do a sub-area plan. Everything's on the table, you just have a clean set of eyes and start thinking, what's possible?
I
and
would
at what
love something
cost.
to be done with it.
Because that's been I think that closed in 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
Even before that, might have been 5, yeah.
I know Mark Detloff was had it open for a while as a garage, and he passed and stuff, because I used to work with him, so.
I would love,
I already wanted $190,000 for it.
I would love something to be there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment this evening? Yeah, please.
Rich Fonte, 31020 Island Drive. As a member of the Horse Island Bridge Committee, we're still looking for historical data on the bridge. And to City Administrator Pastu's remarks with the engineer, they're going to start taking a deep dive into the libraries and that we provided for them, but sure there's a cost for that. And if we can get a picture of the nameplate or any other historical data from some of the archives of the families around here, it sure would help. It would really almost put this thing on a faster track. So I know we've encouraged people to look. We have a few responses. Last response I got on the Facebook site was that there was an individual around town here that, as a young man, went around and plucked all the plaques off the bridges and either threw them in the river or the lake or took them home with them. So I can't verify that, but there's got to be pictures of that bridge somewhere in somebody's file. So look for the nameplate if you would, and if you do find it, contact Dorothy Wood at the Historical Department.
Thank you so much, Treasurer Fonte. Any other public comment this evening? All right, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn, council.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Katie, please call a roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore? Yes. Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Thank you all for a great meeting, and hope everybody has a good evening.
Get out of here.
Have a good trip.
Did you guys do good hand? Sub-area plan. Yeah, I think,
DDA or,
Trigger finger. Yeah, oh yeah, I see